Recently, we were lucky enough to get our hands on an advanced copy of Wytches #1, a new horror title coming out from writer Scott Snyder and artist Jock that is bound to leave readers with a few sleepless nights.
Well, we saw with his short series Severed that Scott Snyder can be a dab hand at the old horror genre, and Wytches looks like it's going to be, if anything, creepier and bloodier than what we've seen before.
Yes, but it isn't just the gore that makes this story so compelling. I'd say that the strength of Snyder's horror work lies in his ability to slowly build tension. In this first issue, we're introduced to the Rook family, likeable and creative people who are clearly about to suffer unimaginable terror. What's strongest about this issue is that we care about these characters before the bad things even start happening.
Yeah, but don't worry, fans of graphic violence. We're shown some pretty nasty stuff as well. The sight of a girl getting dragged through a knothole in a tree by a quartet of claw-like hands, for example, is one that's likely to stay with you. Quite who or what the Wytches are has been left unexplained at this point, so we're not too sure as to why they're so hot on pulling people into trees, but given what we've seen so far, they're unlikely to be a force for sunshine, lollipops and rainbows.
Yeah, which is why you get an artist like Jock on board. I mean, we've already seen how well these two work together with their work on The Black Mirror, possibly because they both like leaving so much up to the reader's imagination. Jock's slightly impressionistic style makes indications rather than outright statements, and the tone of creeping dread swells as a result.
Some of the frames put me in mind of Jeff Lemire's work, and I've got to agree, it has this slightly off-kilter look that keeps you just a tiniest bit on edge throughout. Matt Hollingsworth is also pitch perfect on colours, providing a grim backdrop to what should be a chilling story. This isn't going to be a series that relies on cheap shocks, but rather one that builds up slowly to genuine scares that will have you just glancing suspiciously at every shadow afterwards in your quiet home by yourself. It's a buy from me. Yeah,
it definitely passes the acid test for horror comics for me. It made me afraid to turn to the next page, but also compelled to do so. And the cliffhanger on the final page will have you counting down the days for issue #2. It's definitely a buy from me as well. Guys, keep your eyes out from October 8th when this hits the shelves.